What's up, IG? What's poppin', baby? It's your girl D Jeffers. We are here again for IG Live. I'm waiting on my good friend Corey Hackett-Greene to join the live. Beautiful people. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can. IG Live about being an entrepreneur with at CLH Green via at what's up, Tajir? What's poppin'? Oh, my fault. Via at in my bag tour. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? In my bag tour's in the building. Okay, view. What's up, Eric? I'm trying to work this thing. Oh wait, I need to retype that. Corey, you should be able to join. I'm trying to. All right, Shed's waiting for you. Come on, slide in the combo.
Yo, you got me cracking up over here.
Well, I'm trying to work this thing.
I see. Over there struggling.
Don't say nothing. I'm 23, don't even know how to work IG. That's a shame.
Gotta be with her.
Please, Father.
You want me to pin that?
Nah, I gotta retype. I typed the wrong thing. Being an entrepreneur during COVID-19, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. How's your day going, partner?
You know my name, I can't complain. Everything has been smooth today. A lot of dope conversations, just putting plays together per usual. Talk to you today. Had an awesome conversation with you.
Made me cry. I'm gonna tell the people.
Oh Lord. Made me sound like I'm a bully.
You are. You ain't know that?
A bully from the heart.
Okay. I disagree, but okay.
Finished the book today. Super excited about that. Starting another one. Getting ready to put out my own with help with you. So I salute you for that. Took a nice little stroll today. Got my cardio in. Shout out to Mookie.
Yes.
I'm trying, dog. I'll be out there power walking out here in these streets with my mask on.
Yo, Mookie, you gotta teach them not to complain when because every time I get on the phone with Corey, Kevin, Mookie, I'm so serious. I don't even know you like that. I'm sorry to call you Mookie. I'm supposed to know you as Eric, but they be like, Mookie killing us with this week workout. God, they always complaining, yeah.
Hey, no shame in my game. That man is giving valid workouts. That's my guy from the sandbox. But yeah, I'm just glad today was a recovery day because tomorrow is going to be reckless. But I'm excited because it's dope to be able to, like, as I work out with Kevin and Big Meech, so like being able to fellowship with them and to work out with them and to like just engage in dope conversation with them as well. You know, all that is love. See, he don't care. He don't care about us either.
It's a fact. As long as you're doing it, that's cool, I guess.
Nah, but it's good money though. How's your day?
Day was good, very productive. Busy with late night, early morning meetings back to back to back today. And so once again, it's just getting started because now it's time to do all the work that they can get done throughout the day because I was in meetings. So I'll be up until 4 or 5 once again.
Hey, grind don't stop, neither do you.
That's a fact. Gotta lay these bricks.
That's a fact. Speaking about bricks,
Oh God.
we're in the crazy time right now. So how you laying them out? What does it look like? How are you building during COVID-19?
Yo, business has like accelerated to a pace that's beyond me. I have follow-ups. I haven't followed up with people in a month.
Whew.
Approaching 2 months because the influx of clientele. So I'm doing the onboarding process and then trying to close deals, trying to follow people who didn't purchase. And then you have business partnerships coming in. You have mentoring going on, spiritual development, my own personal life I'm trying to handle, which is in and of itself another world. So it's been Amazing. I will say this time has taught me that I think the scripture says, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain.
Mm-hmm.
And God has built the house and he's building the house. And so my work is easier.
So I know it's like in a time right now that's kind of awkward because a lot of things have essentially slowed down for other people, but for you, it's just like speeding up. So how have you been able to not only maintain pace, but almost adapt to this new quote unquote normal, and then just continuing to be prosperous in the midst of it?
I have to tell myself that it won't always be like this. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
something I got to remind myself of every day. Just get up, put in the work right now, because I cannot stand losing. Two things I can't stand: losing or living with regret. And so I pray for times like this. Like, what's that Meek Mill song? Pray for
No,
times like
hey,
this,
look,
grind like this.
I felt that in my heart when you said it.
Pray for times like this, yeah. So serious though. Like, I pray. I mean, I was in the trenches for a good 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just getting up every morning doing my work, not knowing where the money's gonna come from, but I'm just trying my best to be faithful. And because God says, if you're faithful over a few things, I'll make you rule over many. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen that He's opened up doors that no man can shut, doors that are gonna feed the next 3 generations of my lineage. And it's just grind time. It's about stewardship. And so I just tell myself it won't always be like this. And I'm grinding through the obstacles. I'm jumping over the hurdles. Like, we're working through the kinks of the business. This doesn't work. Okay. Spend some time fixing this today.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't fix it all the way today. Let's spend some time fixing it tomorrow. Still haven't figured it out. Well, it's going to get fixed. So we're just going to grind through and get it fixed. What about you? I know your life has picked up as well as an entrepreneur.
It's been rather hectic. I know you and I, December or early January, either or, literally mapped out the whole entire year, and none of it matters anymore.
Nope.
None of it. So it's kind of fascinating because I quit my job in November and really just prepping to step into full-time entrepreneurship has definitely had its ups and downs, and like just kind of adjusting to the lifestyle of what that consists of. And I know something that kind of like changed my mindset. There were two things. As I was fasting and after I quit my job, it's like you're always constantly thinking about money because now you are responsible for generating your own income. And for me, hearing Matthew 6:33, like it kept on popping up and popping up and popping up. Because I'm like, where am I going to get my next dollar? And since I just started focusing on seeking the kingdom and living righteously, all things have been added. And it hasn't always been a situation in which has been like physical currency or whatever, but I've at least been able to experience different things, be in different rooms and things of that nature. So I see the natural progression of my mindset almost switching the ability for me to be able to walk into new situations in which the income is going to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think is very, very important when it comes to entrepreneurship, because if you're able to do something that you love every single day and not get paid for it, the money's going to follow because that's attached to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to discover that at our age is a huge, huge, huge blessing, because there are people who have not and they still suffer no matter how much money they make, no matter what the situation looks like. If you are not doing something out of the heart every single day, like that's something that you always should reevaluate. And then for me, as I was transitioning again, I heard this statement where God, when you pray for money, God gives you an idea.
Yes, sir.
That joint tore me up.
Come on, preacher.
I'm just thinking like, dang, you always the down bad, right? And the first thing, God, can you give me money? Can you give me money? Can you give me money? And then left and right, ideas just started flowing. So like we talk about just the importance of being a steward, and that's not only over financial resources, but people, ideas, whatever God puts in the midst of your atmosphere. You already know, Mookie, listen, that's my mentor as far as I'm concerned.
Let's
But
get
really
it.
just being a steward in all facets of your life is very, very important. And that's kind of where I am right now, where it's like greater works. When we originally, like when I had the idea about it in November, I didn't know that it was going to turn into a prayer group and Bible study and do-rags and bonnets and all these other things that we've been able to celebrate together and continue to build together. And that's taken a whole bunch of time. developing these ebooks. Like, I know I like reading books, but creating my own sounds a little crazy. But here we are. Like, I've typed it, and it's very thorough. So I'm super excited about that and the value that'll be add to people. That'll be able to add to people. Talking as frequently as we do, and actually thinking about going from driving Lyft and talking to people in a car ride. I have been able to cultivate my gift to the point where now, you know, seeking opportunities or being reached out about opportunities to speak for being paid and being myself is not far fetched anymore because I've been exposed to these things right now. So I think a lot of it's just letting a lot of the things that God has placed upon my heart and that I've already visualized, and it's just a matter of continuing to take steps towards those things every single day. So it's been a dope process to kind of utilize this time right now to just establish clarity as much as I possibly can, because God, he be throwing curveballs left and right. But when he throws it, I gotta swing. And you know that too. Like, we're just in a position right now where so many things are changing in regards to the plans that we had, and he's just been establishing steps. So it's like the Michael Jackson video where he was just walking on the cement and them joints was just lighting up. Like, hey, wherever the steps light up, that's where I'm stepping towards. So that's kind of where this period of time has kind of led me to.
That's a big fact. My biggest thought came to my mind was we could be on the news every day, getting the latest information about the COVID death toll or
Mm-hmm.
which state has decided to reopen when they know we're in the middle of a pandemic, really a plague. Um, do you take that information in?
No, I don't watch the news. Honestly, if my mother wasn't a medical assistant, I would probably have no idea what was going on in the world. And not because I don't want to be ignorant to what's going on outside, but I know how important it is to protect my mind. And I think obviously you should know the rules and regulations in regards to the government and all that stuff like that. But when you continue to watch that stuff every single day, your mind becomes tainted. And I'm in such a place, I call it the presence. Like, if you rocking with me, you in the presence too, because like otherwise I cannot step outside of that and have certain conversations. So in regards to being in the presence, the information that I consume or desire to consume on a day-to-day basis has to be in alignment with God, has to be in alignment with understanding kingdom principles, in regards to my purpose and what I need to be studying and things of that nature. So I've even dialed back further than what I was on social media. And it's scary because it's like, I like analytics. I'm an economics major, if y'all don't know, from Virginia Tech. I talk about it all the time because I hate my degree. It's just like studying Instagram. I watch the analytics drastically increase. Like, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock have always been the times for me to post pictures. Before the pandemic, 3,000, 4,000. Now it's like 5.4, 5.5 thousand, during this time frame. And it's scary because, like, it's cool from one perspective because it's like now more people can see my content. Therefore, as my responsibility, I want to produce as much positive content as I possibly can. And that's why we've been killing them on live, like every single day but Saturday, and pictures and captions and stories and all that stuff like that. But then the flip side of it is, okay, let's just say the three of us, me, you, and Kev, post positive content. These people have how many followers? Therefore, COVID-19 did this. X amount of people just passed away. Like, all of that stuff is draining. So it's like we are fighting a battle, but understanding with all these different things that are being placed upon us with the news. And even we talked about this before, like they have stickers for COVID. And it's like the stay home sticker is nice, but then it's like, what does that resonate back to? So now you're automatically thinking about that place of fear that you're within, where you're like, okay, my life is not back to normal. I don't have a paycheck, or I can't go back to work, and all these different things like that. And even though they may seem like cool, innocent tactics, when you look at the depth of a lot of these things and how people use media to control people's minds, you just have to be mindful of it. So I'm personally not willing to indulge in what that is right now.
I think that's smart.
I hang around smart people. You told me that earlier. That's why I just had to speak it for you.
Oh God. I get on here to do this with you today. Not today.
It's true though. It's true, because it's like, I know you, like, you're the same way. Like,
Oh yeah, I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news in like 6 years.
I know you barely know how to use Instagram, so you know you can't watch the news.
I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to. I don't like
Hey,
social
listen,
media.
if the world ends, God's gonna have to book you on Calendly to let you know first.
That's right. I'm so old school, yo. Like I could do without social media. I only got back on IG because of you and Kev. And on top of that, y'all got me on TikTok now. I still haven't posted anything on TikTok. I know I love YouTube. YouTube. Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes. Somebody come get him, please. Tell him to show his messed up hairline. So take that hood off.
Hey, listen, my barber, I texted him today. He's like, I ain't coming out in Armageddon for no shaper. I said, dang. I said, I can't even get a line, dog. He said, I ain't coming out for no lineup. I need a full haircut. I respect it.
I told you to learn how to cut your own hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of being an entrepreneur. Look, look, look. You can learn how to cut your own hair. Then you can do tutorials. You already got 10,000 followers.
That's not my purpose.
It ain't got to be your purpose. It's a hustle. Come on.
Hey, listen, that's not my hustle. I'm sorry. That's never going to happen.
That's
never
fine.
going to happen. God didn't place that on my heart.
Okay. He said, keep moving, shawty.
I
got my hair done. And can't afford
Yeah, she got the color and everything. She's cutting up.
Can't afford not to have my hair done. Let's see. What else about any questions you have for me? Because we really coming off the cuff tonight.
I guess in regards to like just the different things that are going on right now, how have you been able to just like keep a calm and collective attitude? Because it's like everything is shifting outside, you know, business is booming for you. So how have you been able to maintain, you know, an ability to remain present in this current situation, but then also not get overwhelmed as well?
Most definitely. You know me by now. I have standard operating procedures. There are certain things I do and I do not do. And one of my top operating procedures is we do not make decisions out of pressure. Every decision comes from a place of peace. And so there are certain relatives, certain people I will not entertain right now because all they're doing is they're intaking COVID-19, death toll, yada, yada. African Americans are dying at an excessive rate, yada, yada, yada. What's up, Kev? Like, they're taking all that in. And so when we get on the phone, you need to be careful. You put your mask on, put your gloves on. I respect it. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. But when that conversation goes left and it's like, you could die, da, 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 da. No, don't speak that over my life. The hand of God is on my life. I am covered by the blood. Come on, somebody. I'm not going to die to COVID. No. I ain't going out that way. But every decision I make is from a place of peace. Like, in business, I wake up, first thing I do is pray, meditate, and read. Spend time with God. I'm in his presence because that's going to set the tone for the rest of my day. I need to be in alignment with his will for that day. And what I'm realizing is God doesn't give a rip about my schedule because he knows how structured I like to be and how poignant I am when it comes to getting things done in a certain hour. And he's completely ripped my schedule and shredded it and said, here, try this. And it's not even try this like, you might like it. It's like, try this. This is your only option. So here you go.
Like vegetables.
Yeah. But I hate vegetables. But I'm learning to just find peace in ambiguity almost. Find peace in autonomy at the same time. Ambiguity, not knowing when the next... I'm uncertain of what today looks like. Like, I know I'm going to be up for the next 6-7 hours. I know that for sure. But who knows? I could get a phone call. Could get a text message. Could have to switch tasks and take care of something else. And then also autonomy. I have control over what my day looks like, but I submit it to the will of God. And so that's where my peace comes from, because he provides that peace that surpasses all understanding. And so it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or an employee right now. The best thing you can do is find peace in the midst of chaos, because the peace, specifically the peace of God, is what allows us to make the best decisions that are in alignment with his will. When we don't have peace, we make decisions out of fear and pressure and uncertainty, and almost it's a what if decision. Well, what if this happens? Now I'll make this move. It's chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you understand how all the pieces move on the board so that you move the right piece and you check the mate, like point
Mm-hmm.
blank period. But no, all decisions are made out of peace. None of them are made out of pressure. And if I feel the need to make a decision out of pressure, I'll say I'm not making a decision right now. It'll get made when I find peace.
Mm-hmm. As you should. And how has it been? I guess just like adjusting to having to let go in regards to being someone that's very, very pointed in regards to your schedule, like kind of like loosening your grip on things because, like you said, God is very forceful when it comes to what up. God
So
is very forceful when it comes to announcing His will in your life. So, how have you been able to kind of let go and just really just adapt to the new parts of the calling for yourself?
I don't have any other choice. And so that's where my peace comes from, where I'm like, if he presented it to me, then he already knows the end from the beginning. He knows
Mm-hmm.
the beginning from the end. Like if he's presenting it to me now because it's a sign of what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened to me when I was in school. I went to college just trying to figure out how to get the money for myself. Like I went to college first semester freshman. I'm going to learn how to graduate debt free. I'm going to take my classes and have fun and socialize. And all of a sudden, God said, now build a business at 18. What? I don't know how business works. What? So he threw something into my schedule and completely shredded it. And so
Mm-hmm.
now I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning coaching students on how to earn scholarships, knowing I have a 9 a.m. and I'm probably going to oversleep and be 10 minutes late. But he asked me to do that. And so it goes back to what we talk about all the time. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
What good does it do me? And I'm not trying to come on here and preach. Thank you. What good does it do me to
Take
disobey
them.
God? Here you go.
Take them to the mount.
Here you go. Here you go. What good does it do me to disobey God? If he's omnipotent and he's omniscient and he knows all, then why wouldn't I trust him? When
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust him, it's a sign of pride in a way. It's rooted, and that's the root of the issue is pride because I think I know more than him.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm completely submitted to his will for my life, and that's what he asked me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will reply to the email when I can. I will text you back when I can. And I will let you know, hey, I'm sorry. I had a crisis. I had something that needed my immediate attention, and it took me longer to get back with you than I had originally planned to. But I'm more focused on being obedient to him than appeasing or pleasing someone else's timeline.
And do you feel like your relationship with God has almost reached a new capacity in this season right now?
Do you want me to go into the details?
I know them. The folks don't.
Yes. I would say, okay, so I just told y'all when I was in college, God dropped, learn how to build a business at 18 in the middle of me trying to figure out how college worked and how to pay for school and graduate debt free. He said, now I ask you to teach my people how to do the same thing, even though you really don't know what you're doing. But I placed a hedge of protection over you. So when you think you're failing, you're actually just learning. All your losses are only lessons. They're not really losses. And that's what I'm learning. And he's doing the same thing right now. He birthed a ministry between me, you, and Kevin in the midst of a pandemic. Like we are close with people all over this world that we have never met in person before, that we talk to every single week. We have a deep relationship with them in the midst of a pandemic, which is actually a plague in the scriptural or biblical sense. It's a plague. How does that happen? How does God birth? It's almost like the rose that grew from the concrete. How does he birth something so beautiful in the midst of darkness and calamity and complete destruction is what it looks like. So, I mean, I would say you just learn how to flow like water. I think the quality God looks for the most in his children is flexibility. Will you be flexible? But in basketball terms, you know, I love the game of basketball. We say, are you coachable?
Mm-hmm.
Are you coachable? Though you may be skilled, though you may have certain gifts, and we can take back scripture, though you may have certain gifts and talents, and you can perform exceptionally well, you're better than the competition. You stand out when you step on the court. Are you coachable? Because the number one thing God hates is pride. Same thing with basketball. If you're not coachable, that means you're prideful. And that gets in the way of your growth. And so the thing God loves above everything is obedience. Which goes back to being coachable. So it's a matter of, God, I don't want you to look at me one day and say, I had so much for you, Danielle, but you wouldn't budge on what you thought I wanted you to do. As Mike Todd said last Sunday, you wouldn't rip up your list. You had to stick to what you thought I wanted you to do instead of just submitting to my will for your life. So now I have to pick someone else. God, you ain't gonna ever have to talk to me like that. If you want me to move to China tomorrow, I'm going to China. That's what you want me to do. I'm going, yo. I'm going. Because I'm coachable. I'm not gonna let my ego or my pride get in the way of his promise and his will. It won't be, that won't happen for me. That ain't gonna be my story.
Now, is there a particular like character in the Bible that you found yourself to be able to resonate with during this season that kind of allows you to have confidence in the midst of what's going on and how your life is currently transforming?
David. I am David. David is me.
Okay.
That's one thing I've learned in the last 60 days. David is the epitome of my story. From David had to fight off lions and bears in his father's pasture to protect the sheep. And if you study the story of David, that's what he did the majority of his life. He fought. He fought the Philistines. He fought the Amalekites. He fought XYZ to help the Israelites step into the fullness, step into the promised land, and walk in the promise God had for them. And I know many battles I had to fight as a child and often ask God why. Why do I always have to fight? Why don't I get to rest? Why do I always have to step up to the plate? Why aren't the elders or the adults stepping up? And now on the other side of it, being on the other side of it, I realized because he equipped me to do the work I'm doing now, goes back to entrepreneurship. As an entrepreneur, you have to be ready at all times. It's just like leadership. Leaders don't get to get ready. You always have to be ready. There's a difference between always being ready and always being on. Because always being on is a reflection of you being ready to shine in the spotlight. It's being ready to absorb the attention. That's what always being on means. I have to always put on a face or put on a mask. But the difference between that and always being ready is always being ready to serve. Always being ready to be in a position to give, to pour into people, to sow, to help build someone up. I'm always ready to pour, to use my hands, to use my mind, to use my thoughts, to use my words to edify someone else. I'm always ready. I'm not always on. Because if you know me at a personal note, then you know I'm very reserved. I don't talk to a lot of people. My inner circle is extremely tight. But I'm always ready. So just in case an opportunity presents itself, just in case God calls me, just in case God asks me to move, I can move. We just talked about running. What was it? Praying? What Bible say?
Prayer.
We talked about running. When God asks you to run your race, you can't run it if you're burdening your heavy. And when you're running your race, he's asking you to run because oftentimes if the spirit hits, if you're in church or whatever, and the spirit hits, people start lapping around the pews and one person takes off running, the other takes off running. You don't necessarily know why they're running, but because you see them running, you take off running. And when you're running your race, you're running for Jesus. Like you're running for Christ. You're running for the greater good. You're running for eternity, knowing that when people take off behind you, it's your job to keep running. Don't look back. But if you do look back to bring someone forward, to give them a boost, because regardless, the Holy Spirit is going to come in like a mighty rushing wind and push everybody forward. But you got to keep on running. And you're running with your eyes forward, looking to the greater good. And so that's why you always have to be ready, because you never know if while you're running, he asks you to turn right or left.
So how do you prepare to get ready then? Let's go deeper. Come on. Let's work tonight.
You try to get me to preach tonight. I ain't trying
to work.
No. So I said this the other day. Everyone's individual relationship with God it directly correlates with our relationship with other people. That's why when I believe it was the Sadducees asked Jesus in Matthew, they said, what are the two greatest commandments? You should love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, and soul, then love your neighbor as you love yourself. The first and greatest commandment is to love God first. Why? Because God is love. God is perfect love. So if you learn how to love the way he wants you to love, agape love, if you learn how to love unconditionally, if you learn how to love unselfishly, if you learn how to love relentlessly, if you learn how to love with a heart of forgiveness, and you allow him to teach you that, that's what you will reflect on the outside. Because it's hard to go against the grain when you know the grain is perfect. Like, you know, that's the perfect path. Ooh, that just filled me in a way that nothing else has filled me. The time I spend with God, communing with God in the morning, no one else can feel me the way he feels me. Because that time I spend with him, the rest of the day, I'm pouring. I'm pouring out all day long on the phone, helping people in scholarships, spiritual development, professional call, family, I'm pouring all day long. And so I have to have that time with him so he can teach me what I need to learn for that day before this season. And so the biggest thing I would say is if you don't have a routine with Christ, then you'll inevitably start to develop broken relationships. Not saying you have to be perfect, but you do want to be equipped with new knowledge to help you be more successful. And so allow him to pour into you. So therefore, when you pour from a place of purity. That's one reason why I don't check social media first thing in the morning. I don't even have my notifications on for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't care to check the app as soon as I get a message. It might take me 3 days to get back to you. Sorry, no love lost, charges to my head, not to my heart, but that's not what I'm looking to. That's not who I want to give my attention to as soon as I open my eyes. Because you're not the reason I open my eyes. Because I might not have opened my eyes if it weren't for the grace of God. So I'm glad he allowed me to, and I just want to tell him thank you. I just want to spend some time in his presence and just get to know him a little bit better. It's a relationship. It's not about religion.
She's taking it there. So, like, do you feel like, I guess in regards to the current season that you're in right now, that your relationship has expanded because your capacity has expanded? Or is this like, are you still doing the same particular practice? Or do you think because more is essentially being required from you in the midst of this season that you've kind of had to adjust what your daily routine or habits have been?
Most definitely. I know God prepared me for this season because, I was in isolation for like 10, 11 months. God completely isolated me. I was in my apartment every day grinding, sitting in his presence. I wasn't listening to secular music, certain things I wouldn't drink or eat. I was fasting. Like, he isolated me, and I often wonder why was it taking so long? And as I began to reflect on my life, especially in the middle of it, I started to understand that there are times when God will isolate me, and then he'll send me out, and I'll be on like a 4-year mission of just constant pouring. But it takes those 10 months for him to prepare me for that 4-year run. It's almost like taking a break in the middle of your run. Not that you're done, that you stop, but that he's in NASCAR, they pull to the side of pit stop and they redo the tires and check the oil and all that stuff. Like, it's that type of experience. And so God prepared me for what we're doing now because we're pouring from a different place, all three of us. Me, you, and Kev, we are pouring from a place that we haven't poured from together collectively ever before.
Individually too.
And individually too. Yes, you're right. Individually and collectively, we've never poured from such a spiritual place on a consistent basis. And we had our conversations here and there, but we're in Bible study. If y'all want to join the Facebook group, Greater Works Power Prayer, we have Bible study every Sunday every Thursday at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Zoom. The link to join the Facebook group is in my Instagram bio. Click that Linktree link, and then I think it's like the 4th, 5th link down. It says Facebook group, Greater Works Power Prayer. That's what we keep referring to. And so we have Bible study every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do-Rags and Bonnets, which is a casual chat. We're literally in our Do-Rags and Bonnets at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. Now, Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have prayer. Now, all those conversations last a minimum of 2 hours. A minimum of 2 hours. It's beautiful. Some conversations last 4 hours. Some last 3. Every conversation is different. And every conversation is meant for a specific person. But when I think about the way you, Kevin, and I have been functioning, those conversations are only a small fragment of our day. Because we are doing it every day, day in and day out. Not to say we're better than anyone, but if God's preparing you, and if you are committed to the will of God for your life, you will never not be in a place where you are not serving people. You will always be in a place where you have to serve other people. And so just allow him to. The number one thing he's going to work on when he prepares you to lead other people is your heart. Heart work is hard work. God fixing your heart and fine-tuning your heart to prepare to serve at a greater capacity is hard work. He took me through a 2 to 3 year pruning season.
Mm-hmm.
One of the hardest moments of my life. But now I'm glad he pruned me because I see the fruit I'm bearing, and it's
Mm-hmm.
good fruit. So just do the heart work, HEART, do the heart work, because that hard work is hard work, and the things that come as a result of your hard work will shift the paradigm.
So I think that ties back right into where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, where it's like often I think people kind of try to separate seasons or different events and things within their life, but you're literally experiencing an occurrence in where God had to remove things from you, try certain things, and whatever the case may be. But how does it feel to now be, would you say, predominantly outside of the pruning process? Because we always get pruned, let's be
Oh
honest.
yeah, oh yeah.
But on the almost on the other side of it, where you're saying like, okay, God, I see why you did such and such.
What's that? How does it feel?
Yeah.
It feels like a big relief, because when you go through such an enormous amount of pain and loss all at one time,
Mm-hmm.
and to sum it up, to give people inside perspective, because I hate talking around stuff. I want to give people a perspective. Like, my pruning season looks something like this. Um, it's 2017. My grandmother got sick at the top of 2017. I was scheduled to have ACL surgery. I tore my ACL in 2011 at the age of 14, my right anterior cruciate ligament. Then I tore my right meniscus, my right lateral meniscus, during my sophomore year of college. So like 2016. So I walked around with the torn ACL for 6+ years. Like, what does that look like practically? Practically, it looks like you're trying to go down the stairs and your knee tweaks and pops out of position, and you can't walk for 10 minutes because your knee's not in alignment. You got to
Mm-hmm.
stand to the side and wait for your knee to get in alignment just to go up and down the stairs. Like, I dealt with that for 6 years, and so I'm scheduled to have ACL and MCL surgery, repair everything, in May 25th, 2017. My grandmother's sick. I'm in and out of the hospital with my grandmother. I get ACL surgery, and then my mother gets sick, sick as she's ever been. I sat with my mother for 5 hours in the hospital as I watched her have a pulse that was more than 120 beats per minute, and her blood pressure was sky high. She was in and out of consciousness. I sat at her bedside and said, God, if you take my mother, I'm done. I'm done with everything. If you take my mother away from me, I refuse to keep going. And pleaded with him to keep her here. We flew via helicopter to Duke. I left my mother in a nursing home at 21 years old to go back to Virginia Tech to my finish out my junior year. And my grandmother passed away in the fall of 2017. A lot of personal issues with parents and their relationship. And then I went into a deep depression. My senior year of college was one of the most hardest years of my life. I almost committed suicide. Deep depression. Just bound. I'm learning how to walk again. Mind you, I had ACL surgery, so I'm learning how to walk again. On the outside looking in, it looks like everything's great. That goes back to my inner circle. If I don't let you in, you'll never know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not the type of person to bring it to the forefront until I've overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I
Mm-hmm.
started telling my story, because I can tell it from a place of healing and the place of being a teacher and encouraging other people. And so
Mm-hmm.
to have to lay my grandmother to rest, to have to watch my mother suffer after she'd already suffered, to have to recover from ACL surgery, fail all my classes. Like, I got incomplete, so I'm getting ready to get, I'm on the cusp of having to take another semester in the middle of failing. Scholarships probably going to get canceled, like, because GPA was dropping, having to deal with all that. And then looking at God and saying, why? I've done everything you asked me to do. Why is it so difficult right now?
Mm-hmm.
No response. But he wakes me up every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I'm mad. You can't talk to me, but you're going to wake me up at 4 o'clock and you want me to talk to you? What? What? Every morning you wake me up at 4 a.m., but you can't talk to me and tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw how he let me hit rock bottom. And I hit it hard. Drinking my pain away, doing things I had no business doing, to drown in my tears because I wouldn't let people in. I'm very good at putting on a mask. I'll be in a state of just complete torment. The devil is completely tormenting me, and walk outside and say, hey, how are you? Is everything okay? Complete mask. But that season taught me that when God's called you to greater, he's going to take you through things so that you can help other people get through their things. Because now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm using the skills and my experience and my relationships that I developed in that season and the scriptures that I had to study and understand at a deeper level. And the fact that I read the entire Bible in 2018 because I was just that low. I'm like, God, if you don't get me out of this, I'm not going to get out of it. So I'm just going to completely lean into you. I'm going to study your word. I'm going to be in your presence. I'm going to cut out relationships. I'm going to stop drinking, whatever. I'm going to completely lean into you because I don't understand. And how much I had to study scripture. Now I see it where he's asking me to teach. And the Bible says the Holy Spirit will comfort you so you know how to comfort other people and do all that stuff in this season. It makes sense. And so it's scripture also says we're many members of one body. And so God will put you in a position to help ensure that the body functions correctly. Knowing that no part is more important than the other. But you have to do your responsibility to help build the kingdom. I mean, it's your responsibility to help build the kingdom. And so everyone has to do their own work. But yeah.
Whew. You went somewhere on that joint.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy.
It's not. It's actually funny because I literally just got done watching Bible study and my pastor said something along the lines of like, the greater the blessing, the greater the turmoil, or something along the lines of that. And like you said, there's always this outside perception in which everyone thinks everything is perfect. Everyone thinks it's because it looks like something, it always is something. And you and I both know that like the trenches are ugly.
Oh, ugly.
They're very ugly. And having to deal with loss, uncertainty, so many different varying factors in regards to really allowing God to take you to a place where you can only depend on him and that you never forget it once you're down there. And it's beautiful when you come from it. But I think something also that I kind of want to tie into as well is just like, how has your personal experiences been able to allow you to better serve your clientele?
Oh, come from a place of wisdom. Anyone can gain knowledge, but come from a place of wisdom, and I think wisdom is God-given. It's very similar. It has a lot of parallels to discernment, where I know Solomon prayed for wisdom. He didn't pray for riches or wealth, but he prayed for wisdom. This is in 1 Kings. And he prayed for it, and God said, because that's what you prayed for, I'm going to bless you and make you the richest man in the land. And then Solomon was stupid and got in trouble with all these women and started worshiping other gods. And so God snatched the kingdom from him through his son. But because as soon as the scripture said, I think it's 1 Kings 3, God met Solomon in a dream. Solomon got wisdom. In the second part of that chapter, Solomon had to order his servants to bring a knife to split a baby in half because two women were fighting over a living child. And it's like when God equips you with certain spiritual gifts, he'll immediately test it. Like, immediately test it. And you have to get ready. I forgot what your question was, but that's why I was.
How is like everything helped you like be a better entrepreneur and better serve your clientele? So you were getting there. You were getting there.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you gotta stop by church first.
That's right. Stop by church.
You gotta stop by church all the way to the house.
Come on. I'm teaching from a place that's deeper than just scholarships. Like, yeah, we're applying for scholarships to help you graduate debt free, but I'm trying to pour into you so that you become a more productive and fruitful adult. Like, I'm gonna spend 4 years talking to you every week. I hope that you learn something beyond just how to write these scholarship essays. I hope you learn how to serve other people. I hope you learn how to think. I hope you learn how to make critical decisions. I hope you learn how to depend on God. Like, I hope you learn that sometimes you're going to have to code switch in society, and you talk one way in front of this group of people and you have to talk this way in front of another group of people. I hope you learn how to plan ahead. Like, There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things I hope you learn as a result of our conversations. That may not be taught to you in a textbook or in a traditional setting in the classroom. So it's way deeper than scholarship. God has equipped me to, I don't want to call it this, but someone who speaks to the nations.
Mm-hmm.
I work with children from all different backgrounds. Ghana, some of them are Ghanaian, some of them are American, Chinese, Italian, Muslim. Like I had to study what Ramadan
Mm-hmm.
looked like for them practically because I had no idea. And I don't want to step on any of my clients' toes. They're in the midst of fasting majority of the day from dawn to sunset. You probably don't have the energy to write these scholarship essays.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to understand from a cultural perspective how that impacts your performance. So it's equipped me, my experiences have equipped me with a level of empathy and patience and understanding that nothing else could give me. School couldn't teach me this. I couldn't read about this in a textbook. I had to live through it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You've been getting it in today. You brought your A game.
You poured it out of me. Again.
I tell everybody, I ask the right questions.
Yeah.
So for your final question tonight, what are 3 tips that you can give entrepreneurs right now to be able to maintain productivity during the season?
Find peace. Number 1, find peace. Number 2, establish a routine of productivity. Number 1, find peace. Number 2, establish a routine of productivity because as an entrepreneur, you only get paid when you produce. So you need to be productive and produce results. And number 3, ensure that you're solving someone's problem. Don't do things just to do them. No, entrepreneurship is all about solving other people's problems. We get paid to solve people's problems. So solve the problem. If you're making masks because the store is out of disposable masks, solve the problem, make the best mask you can, and sell it so that you make a great profit.
Shout out to Tafani. In my bag tour volunteer, Philly in the house. She was definitely making tons of masks. It's good to see that stuff like that, though. But like you said, number 3 is big because there have been an influx of new problems, and some people are watching it happen, and other people are moving and shaking, and it's dope to witness. So, fire tips, fire conversation. Any last words from Madam DJ Walker?
Don't start. Okay.
President Jeffers.
Yo.
Okay, all right. Any last words from the founder of Dope for Degrees, the co-founder of the In My Bag Tour, and the founder of, what is it, DJ Enterprises?
Danielle Jeffers.
Excuse me, let me not abbreviate it. We need the whole thing.
Great, yeah. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. I'm going to screen record this and put it on YouTube. And get your buddy, because he always trying to make me get on here and preach. I just come on here to chat with y'all, and then you send me to preacher mode, teacher mode. That ain't what I came on here for.
We here to add value. That's what we do.
Any last words from you?
Nah, I'm just happy to be in your presence. I genuinely am. And just thankful for, once again, just having someone such as you in my circle that I can rely on, confide in, and all the above. And I know that you've been a blessing in my life, and I know that you are being a blessing to many, 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 many people, and will continue to do so. Listen, we don't do none of that crying stuff. Do none of that. But nah, I just appreciate you for real, and it's just dope to be growing with you, but also to be able to watch you grow as well. And I'm super excited for you and the work that you have planned for everybody else, and let's change the world. That's it. You know I'm here.
Let's get it. Y'all DM me, y'all. Let's stay in touch. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight.
We'll see y'all when we see y'all.
I love you. Deuces.